Good morning students. In this video we are going to discuss about morphology of flowering plants. From that chapter, the subtopic about we are going to discuss is the stem. In previous video we had a discussion regarding the root. Now we are going to discuss about the stem, which is a deleted portion for board examinations. So what is meant by stem? First of all, let us see introduction. What are the features that distinguish a stem from root? The stem is the ascending part of the axis bearing branches, leaves, flowers and fruits. It develops from the plumule of the embryo of a germinating seed. The stem bears nodes and internodes. This is the differences between root and stem. The stem bears nodes and internodes, which are absent on root, and moreover develops from plumule of germinating seed. The region of the stem where leaves are born are called nodes, while internodes are the portion between two nodes. So this part already we had a discussion in offline class. The portion which is present between two nodes called as internodes. The stem bears buds which may be terminal or axillary. Stem is generally green when young in age and later often becomes woody and dark brown. This is one remarkable notice. Then the main function of the stem is spreading out branches bearing leaves, flowers and fruits. It conducts water and minerals and photosynthesis process. Some stems perform even function of storage of food, supporting to the plant, protection of the plant and vegetative propagation, etc. But the main function is conduction of water and minerals and photosynthesis process by bearing leaves, fruits and flowers. But here some stems performs even other functions like storage of food, support and protection and vegetative propagation. So students, this is the little introduction. Now we are going to discuss about modifications of the stem. The first one about modifications of stem for storage of food. Now the stem may be green in some plants and even non-green in other plants. So the stem may not always be typically like what we had a discussion just now. And the stem may not always be typically like what they are expected to be even. Understand? So they are modified to perform different functions. Example, underground stems of potato, which you are seeing on the screen. Ginger, turmeric, jamaican, colocasia are modified to store the food in them. They also act as organs of perennation to tide over conditions unfavorable for growth. So these are nothing but generally called as rhizomes. So stems in plants like potato, ginger, turmeric, and they are helps to store the food, and even in colocasia are they modified to store the food, and they are also acts as organs of perennation to tide over conditions unfavorable for growth. So this is one important significant characteristic in plants like potato and ginger and turmeric. Generally we are calling them as rhizomes. They also helps for vegetative propagation. Might be you heard about in previous classes. So, vegetative propagation also takes place by stem tubers like potato, and as well they helps to store the food even. And apart from potato, we can also discuss about colocasia and ginger, turmeric, jamin curd, and even sweet potato, etc. Now, one more important modification we are going to discuss about called as stem tendrils. You can see on the screen, students, the stem tendrils which develop from axillary buds are slender and spirally and coiled and help the plants to climb, such as gourds, example cucumbers, pumpkins and watermelons and grapevines, etc. And auxiliary buds of these stems may also get modified into woody and straight and pointed thorns. But auxiliary buds in some plants develops into tendrils and to helps to hold the supporter like woody supporters or sticks or some other plants. Example you can see on the screen, Fasciflora. And these are generally how they looks, they are just like coiled in structure and helps to climb these supporting trees, and they are spirally present and even helps to spread on the ground like cucumbers, pumpkins, watermelons, etc., and even grapevines, etc. So these are the different modifications of auxiliary birds into tendrils in some plants called as stem tendrils. Hope you understood till now. Now I am going to explain one more important modification, how the axillary bud only in some stems modifying into woody, straight and pointed structures are called thorns. You can see on the screen thorns, axillary buds only in some stems they are modifying into woody, it means very strong, straight in structure, you can see on the screen, and pointed in shape, they are called thorns. Thorns are found in many plants such as citrus, bougainvillea, roses, etc. So, what is their function? They protect plants from browsing animals. So you can see axillary bud how it developed into thorns in a plant called bougainvillea. They are woody and straight and pointed, helps to protect the plants from browsing animals like cows and buffaloes. And in some plants there are arid regions, they helps to modified in different structures called thorns only, and arid regions modified their stems into flattened structures, example opuntia. So here they are fleshy and cylindrical, fleshy in opuntia, cylindrical in euphorbia structures. They helps to store the water in the form of gel and performs photosynthesis, and also consisting chlorophyll, and they carry out the main function photosynthesis. So here students, I would like to bring some more important modifications of the stem in front of you. Underground stems of some plants such as grass and strawberry, they also modified into different structures. The way how we are seeing on the screen, axillary buds modified into thorns. In roses and bougainvillea, might be you have seen different nice flowers which can be seen in bougainvillea. Purple in color helps to protect the plant from browsing animals. Those bougainvillea are in different colors and helps to protect the plants from animals which eats the leaves called browsing animals. But here in some plants, the underground stems of some plants such as grasses and strawberry etc. spread to new niches, and when older parts die, new plants are formed. Example, you can see on the screen how they are spreading to the new niches, and when older parts die, new plant parts arises. Example, grasses and strawberry etc. And here I would like to tell you one more example here. In plants like mint and jasmine, a slender lateral branch arises from the base of the main axis, and after growing aerially for some time arc downwards the downwards towards the ground and to touch the ground. You are seeing on the screen right now. So up to some time they are aerial, and after that they are growing towards the ground and touches the ground, and a lateral branch with the short internodes, and each node bearing a rosette of leaves and tuft of roots is found in some aquatic plants also. And like Pistia, Acornia, etc. in those plants we can see this type of nature, and those are even called with another good name runners. Example, strawberry. You can see on the screen some grass plants. So next, one more modification is nothing but stolon. How the lateral branch developed up to some time they are aerial, next touches the ground, and a new plant is arising. Example, you can see in some plants like jasmines etc. stolons, and here they are also can be protected from the other predating animals. When older parts are dying, new parts are forming, spreads on the ground. We can see even that nature in grasses and strawberry etc. and spreading to the new niches of the ground. So the total ground looks like green mat. Next, I would like to tell you one more important advantage. They can very speedily and fastly can grow on the surface. This is one more advantage to the farmer. You can see on the screen how this characteristic can be exhibited by the strawberries. Next, students, I would like to tell you one more important example under stem modifications. You can see on the screen Pistia and Ecornia plants. The lateral branches with the short internodes, and each node bearing of rosette of leaves. Rosette of leaves, what is this characteristic? Might be you have seen in cabbage and cauliflower. All the nodes are very concise to very short structure. Internodal area is also very small. Hence the internodal area is very short and small. From the nodes all the leaves are very compressive in nature and appears like a flower, like you can see in cabbage and cauliflower nature. and that type of arrangement of leaves at one node in huge number as a big flower which appears is called as rosette of leaves. And a tuft roots, you can see on the diagram, tuft roots is found in aquatic plants like pistia and ecornia. So these are also helps in producing new plants, nothing but vegetative propagation through these roots called as through these stems called as offsets. And in C diagram we can see chrysanthemum, how the lateral branches are arising up and producing new plants. Example, chrysanthemum. The new one is called as sucker. So roots are forming as usual. So this is also one kind of stem modification and as well helps in vegetative propagation, and which grows up to some extent horizontally under the ground beneath the soil. Then in plants like banana, pineapple and chrysanthemum, we can discuss examples. What are the examples? Banana, pineapple and chrysanthemum, which you are seeing on the screen. Example, chrysanthemum. The lateral branches originates from the basal region of the stem and underground portion of the main stem even, and grow horizontally beneath the soil and then come out obliquely upward, giving rise to leafy shoots. Understand, those are nothing but can be seen in plants like banana, pineapple and chrysanthemum. So those young ones are called as suckers. So you can see runners in oxalis, stolons in Fragvaria. These are also stem modifications and helps in even vegetative propagation. Most of the plants which exhibit this characteristic like consisting weak stem, they also perform uh, vegetative propagation through them. Next, students, I would like to tell you one more example how these plants are growing horizontally beneath the soil. Example, grasses, and then come out obliquely upward, growing rise to leafy shoots. Growing rise to leafy shoots. You can see on the screen. So this phenomenon can be seen in grass plants and which grows horizontally beneath the soil and then come out obliquely upwards, growing rise to leafy shoots. So these are the different kinds of modifications in the stem which helps in protecting from the animals and which helps to storage the food, which helps to get the support from other plants or woody sticks, hence the stem is weak, and they also spread over the surface of the ground and helps in vegetative propagation. So these are the different main functions of the stem. Once again I will remind the functions: storage of the food like in potato and ginger and turmeric, supporting like in plants like in bottle gourd, bitter gourd and other plants. Next, even protection like opuntia and bougainvillea and euphorbia etc., where axillary birds are modified into thorns. Next, the same axillary birds modified into forming of new branches like in plants of mint, jasmine etc., and grows horizontally beneath the soil and help them to come out obliquely upward, growing rise to new leafy shoots, and nothing but helps in vegetative propagation. So students, with this I conclude this stem modifications and stem description in this video. Hope you understood. In the next video we are going to discuss about the leaf. So students, thank you one and all.